we could be looking at the next super team if no one screws it up. We are back from All-Star Weekend, man. I had a ball, but I am very excited about this blockbuster trade that just went down while we were there in New Orleans. I'm speaking, of course, about three-time All-Star Demarcus Boogie Cousins being shipped from basketball no man's land in Sacramento to, well, probably another basketball no man's land in New Orleans. But New Orleans is different in this way. It has a superstar in Anthony Davis. And now that Cousins has joined Davis, we suddenly have the makings of what the NBA needs now more than ever. Another super team. A team that could one day, theoretically, on paper, possibly, if the stars aligned, compete with the Golden State Warriors and the Cleveland Cavaliers. The Pelicans are certainly not there yet. Actually, they're light years away. Heck, they may not even make the playoffs this season. But I don't care about that. This is not about grabbing the AC this year. This is about successfully acclimating Boogie into their culture, developing rhythm between him and Davis, and building themselves into a future contender around their new two pillars. It won't be easy. This is one heck of a chemistry project. But make no mistake, if they do things correctly, the Pelicans can be the truth. With that goal in mind, as a Louisiana native and having the best interests of the NBA at heart, I'm going to offer some advice to New Orleans so they can turn their franchise into
Grow and change.
I've heard several athletes say they don't regret anything they've done. Hogwash. We've all made mistakes. I've said several things I wish I hadn't. Done several things I wish I could take back. We all have, especially in our 20s. So Boogie, there's no shame in admitting that you did some things wrong in Sacramento. The shame would be in failing to recognize your mistakes, blaming everything on the Kings' dysfunction, and repeating those same mistakes in New Orleans. Several sources told me that the majority of your teammates in Sacramento did not like playing with you. That while you weren't a bad guy off the court, you were selfish on the court. They said that if the Kings were winning and you weren't putting up big numbers, you were angry. They said you cussed out coaches and sometimes bullied your teammates. Boogie, you could be a Hall of Famer. Yes, even after missing the playoffs and developing a poor reputation over your first 6 seasons. At 26 years old, you may not care about your legacy. You're making all-star teams and mega millions. And for now, that may be enough. But one day, you will be concerned about how you're remembered, about getting the respect and the accolades that you deserve, about how your reputation affects your family and your children. You'll want to be viewed as the great player you were rather than as a malcontent who never lived up to his potential. You'll want to be Rasheed Wallace rather than Derek Coleman, Paul Pierce rather than Antoine Walker, Chris Carter rather than Terrell Owens. This is your chance to turn it around, Boogie. Don't blow it.
You only get one shot. Do not miss your chance to blow.
Be the boss.
It's well documented that Demarcus has trust issues. I sat down with John Wall over All-Star Weekend, and he even told me the secret to getting through to Boogie.
What it is if you really get to know him, he's all about first impressions. So if you first meet him, if he don't like you, you're gonna understand you're not gonna talk to him ever again. If you get a great bond with you early on and he feel like he can trust you, he'll go to war with you.
Give Boogie some reason to believe he can't trust you, and it may be over before it started. This could all blow up in your face, and you'll be wishing you had Buddy Hield back.
Buddy.
So you, General Manager Dale Demps and Coach Alvin Gentry, have to find a way to earn Cousins' trust. Try to get to know him away from the court. Show him you're concerned about Demarcus the person and not just Boogie the player. But that's only the beginning. I've been told of coaches who did befriend Demarcus, coaches he did like, and he still walked all over him. So soon, real soon, like yesterday, you need to sit Boogie down, him and Anthony Davis actually, and tell them what you expect from them. that you expect them to be your leaders, that you expect them to be professional, that you expect them to respect the game, their talent, their teammates, and all those within the organization, that they have the opportunity to be like Tim Duncan and David Robinson, like Hakeem Olajuwon and Ralph Sampson, that it's your responsibility as the coach and the GM to bring that out of them, to push them to that level of greatness, and that in doing so, you're going to be hard on them, you're going to be more demanding on them than on their lesser talented teammates, and you're going to hold them accountable, even if it means chewing them out in front of the team. And then you got to do it. Alvin Gentry, Boogie is going to test you. He's going to go at you or one of his teammates in practice one day. And when he does, you got to check him immediately. You got to go right back at him. Let him know who's running the show. You may even have to kick him out of practice and send him home. That's what Mike Malone, the one NBA coach he respected out of the 6 he's had, did. If you fail to do that and give Boogie the impression that he can get away with anything he wants, he will bury you. Your team will underachieve, you'll get fired, and you will have blown a terrific opportunity.
Play to your strengths, not Golden State's.
Alvin, I know you were a key architect of the Warriors' beautiful offense, but guess what? Steph and Klay didn't follow you to New Orleans. Yet you're still coaching as if your team is built to run. Your Pelicans are in the league's top 10 in pace, but ranked 27th in offensive efficiency. And now that you've got Demarcus, I think you're more built to play like the Bash Brothers than the Splash Brothers. Look, no one, not Cleveland, not San Antonio, and certainly not New Orleans, is going to beat the Warriors at their own game. You're not going to win a track meet or a shootout with them, so slow it down.
Slow and low, that is the tempo.
The teams that have the most success against Golden State play big and oftentimes slow. No team in the Western Conference has had more success against the Warriors than Memphis, which has beaten them 5 times in the last 3 years, including twice in 3 meetings this season. How do the Grizzlies do it? They play at the 3rd slowest pace in the league and pound the ball inside to Marc Gasol and Zach Randolph. How did San Antonio demolish the Warriors on opening night this season? By going big with Pau Gasol and LaMarcus Aldridge. What enabled Oklahoma City to take a 3-1 lead over Golden State in last year's Western Conference Finals? Besides Durant and Westbrook, it was the fact that the Thunder had athletic bigs who could both beat up and stay with the Warriors' thoroughbreds. Cleveland's an anomaly because of the unparalleled greatness of LeBron James. But even they have good size in Tristan Thompson and Kevin Love. I'm not saying you have to become a completely half-court team because Davis runs the floor well for a big and Boogie is a solid 3-point shooter. But Cousins on the block, some high-low action with Davis, and some bruising physical play should become a big part of the Pelicans' identity.
I get those goosebumps every time.
Besides Cousins and Davis, you guys also have a really good point guard in Jrue Holiday. That right there can become a big 3, if Holiday can stay healthy. Injuries limited Jrue to just 94 starts over the previous 3 seasons. And while his absence early this season was due to a family crisis rather than an injury, his history of being banged up scares me, and it should scare you. So take these final 25 games to play Holiday and play him a lot. I would give him like 37, 38 minutes a game, maybe 40, just to see if his body can withstand the grind. If he does, pay him handsomely this summer and seek to add wing shooters and defenders around that super trio. Then you could be cooking with gas. Or since it's New Orleans, should I say, cooking with grease. So it's that simple. Nah, I'm just playing. Like I said, it may not be easy, but it's certainly possible. Oh, and I wouldn't even worry about Boogie signing or not signing a long-term deal with you. This is as much a trial for him as it is for you. If he acts up and wreaks havoc on your club like he did in Sacramento, send his butt packing before next year's trade deadline. Either way, the possible reward is well worth the risk.
And if you don't know, now you know.